been living on a budget for the past 12 years, and I have come up with 10 reasons why your budget may not be working for you and your family. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lining Up Tucks. If you're just joining us, my name is Rachel, and I spent the last 5 years as a budget analyst for a multi-million-dollar business, and I love all things budgeting and small living. It takes a lot of trial and error to get a budget that works just right for your family. So don't give up. It's going to be really frustrating in the beginning, but it's going to be so worth it in the end. I can promise you that. The number one reason why your budget may not be working for your family is your fixed expenses are too high. If you're house poor, there is nothing that you are going to be able to change in your variable expenses to make large leaps in your financial journey. So consider making very drastic changes to your fixed expenses. I promise you, you will not regret it. Number two is because you don't have enough money in reserves. If you have a family as large as ours, $1,000 in an emergency fund isn't going to cut it. Think about a car emergency for a family of our size is a much bigger expense than a car emergency for a single person. So consider the size of your family when you're setting your emergency fund. For us, we have a $2,000 emergency fund, and we have a full month of expenses in our month ahead fund. So we have a nice emergency fund just in case we have any big emergencies. We've also done an emergency fund before that had all of our insurance deductibles in it. So if we wrecked both cars at the same time and we had a major disaster in our house, we would have had all of those deductibles at the same time. Get creative in how you do it, but don't just fix yourself on one number. Decide what number works best for your family. Number three, you aren't using sinking funds. If you've never heard of a sinking fund, all that is planning ahead for an expense that you know is coming. So life insurance or Christmas, school supplies, birthdays, all of those things that come along in a year that end up being large hits to your budget. Planning ahead for those and saving a little bit every single pay period for those expenses really puts your budget in the right place, and you have that money available when you need it without making a major dent in that particular month. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Every like that I get on all of these videos really helps propel them forward in that lovely YouTube algorithm, and it also lets me know if you like this content and want to see more of this content later. Number four is you aren't planning ahead. We plan our entire year's budget in December of the previous year. No, I don't go and get it down to the penny, but I sit down with my husband, we get both of our calendars out, and we look at his drill dates, we try to set family vacations, we look at birthdays, anniversaries, all of those things. We go ahead and plan the bulk of our spending for the entire year. That way we don't have as many oopses or surprises in our budget as the year progresses. Number five is your budget is too restrictive. I know if you're on a debt payoff journey or a savings journey like we are, it's really tempting to cut out all wants and only focus on your needs. But if you deprive yourself completely of every single want, unless you are both extremely frugal people and that is your natural tendencies, you're going to rebound. And the rebound is probably going to be a lot larger than if you plan a little bit in your budget every single month, instead of just getting frustrated, throwing your hands up and going, I'm tired, I'm getting myself something nice. So how my husband and I do it is we each get personal money every single pay period, and that is for us to just use however we want to. I don't question him how he spends his, he doesn't question me on how I spend mine. It works beautifully. Number six is the complete opposite. You're spending way too much money. If you haven't gotten your purchases on wants down significantly, you're not going to end up saving any money or paying off a lot of debt. Yes, you do need to have some wants in your budget, like I said in the previous one, but not too many. If you really want to make large financial moves in your budget, you're going to have to maybe cut your restaurant fund in half or not eat out for lunch so often at work. I read something the other day that If you want to waste $10,000 in a year, just spend $27 a day on miscellaneous spending. And that's the truth. Cutting down your miscellaneous and your impulse spending can really save your budget. Number 7 is your partner is not on board. If you're not a single person and you have a spouse your partner needs to be on board. And a lot of times, getting your partner on board for a budget can be very difficult. Check out this video that I have linked here of how to build a budget for your family that actually works. And I've got everything in there about how to build a budget that you and your partner can really do together. And one of the simplest ways to do that is oftentimes just changing the word budget, which can feel very restricting, to spending plan. A spending plan doesn't feel restrictive and it feels permissive. It feels like you're giving yourself permission to spend all of your money in these particular ways that you're mapping out. So sometimes it's just a change in vocabulary that you need. Please comment below if you have anything to add to this list. I would love to know what you think a stumbling block can be in a monthly budget. All right, number 8 is you aren't actually sticking to your budget. If you're writing down a budget on a piece of paper every single month, it is only as good as the piece of paper until you actually do it. I cannot tell you how many months I put a budget on paper in the beginning and then we just went willy-nilly and spent, went out to dinner here or went out for drinks with friends there, and we didn't actually stick to the budget, and all of our debt payoff money or all of our extra, vacation money ended up going down the drain. Number 9 is you haven't set financial goals. We were guilty of this for a very long time. We just wanted to get through the month and be able to pay our bills and have food on the table and have a couple of nights of let's go out to get takeout. We have been there. But when we finally sat down and made financial goals for ourselves, that's when we made huge strides. Y'all, we have saved $23,000 in 7 months as a family of 6, and we have 1 full-time income coming in the household. That is crazy. We just needed to set financial goals. Make sure you and your partner have financial goals that are the same, and if they're not, compromise. If your partner wants a larger nest egg before you start paying down debt, listen to them. I am completely guilty of not listening to Scott when he wanted a larger nest egg before we started paying off debt, and so we ended up just spinning our wheels for years. Find a happy medium that works for both you and your partner and start from there. Number 10 may be touchy, but it's really important. If you can't look past your regrets and all of the financial mistakes that you've made in your past, you're not going to be able to move forward. I can't tell you how much stupid tax we have paid over the past 17 years of our marriage. It is, we're talking probably 6 figures of stupid tax that we have paid in our 17 years of marriage. But I finally stopped looking at what past mistakes that we made and started looking at the positive choices we could make, and that propelled our financial journey forward so fast. And it's so easy to wallow in bad choices and get depressed and down about the bad financial choices that you've made in the past. But you just have to quit looking back and only look forward and not make the same mistakes again. I hope this was really helpful for you. Take this list and really dig deep and look and see if there's any of these you're doing in your household. Make adjustments and move forward. Your budget will absolutely thank you for it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.